here with Frank Warren post-fight in one of the best fights I've seen like ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was on pins and needles from round 4 up until the last round because I knew at any moment it could have flipped either way.
It was. I mean, it was an epic fight. Best heavyweight fight I've seen live, and it was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. These two warriors in there. It took two of them to make a fight like that. Deontay Wilder, got to take your hat off to him, and Tyson Fury just showed what he's made of. You know, he is an extraordinary boxer, extraordinary man. You know, he's brave. He's got a great chin. You know, although for me, fighters who have good chins, they get caught, they go on the floor, they get up, and he showed what a great chin he's got. And at the end of it, he's pure will to win. His skills and his heart got him the win. He broke him down at the end.
Tyson mentioned in the post-fight how it wasn't the best camp. Can you let us in a little bit about
it wasn't the best?
That it wasn't the best camp. Can you let us in on a little bit about
what
that?
happened whilst he was training? Him and his wife had a baby girl, Athena, and she was taken to intensive care unit when she was born, put in there, and there was a lot of concern and worry. Then she came out of it, and then they had to put her back in again. So obviously boxing, nothing meant anything other than your baby's life, and he just stopped training, had to be with his wife and his baby, and that was it. So that interrupted his training, but you know, there's no excuses, as he said. He did what he had to do. He's never one to go on about that. But that is what happened.
The plan that we saw, he used his weight against Wilder, and he went ahead and tired him out as the fight progressed. Plus, the jab was hurting Wilder a lot, and the big shots. Was that what he told you that he was planning on doing?
No, I always felt the key to beat Deontay. That's why I tipped him to stop him this time, albeit I didn't expect it to be like that. But the first fight I expected him to, which he did, he stopped him, is because of a guy like that, you've got to put him on his back foot. If you put Deontay on his back foot, you don't fight too well going backwards. You don't
against the ropes too.
Yeah, and you don't let him set himself. Yeah. And that's what he did. But I think Tyson was sometimes that much away from stopping him, in as much that he threw the jab. When he started throwing the jab, and he was catching him with nice jabs and letting that right hand, he then fell onto him rather than step back.
Put his weight on.
But it was brilliant. It was a brilliant.
That's a veteran move too, because jab and then hold.
Yeah. And he did, and he got through it. And there was times when he was, he rocked him. Deontay put him on the floor with big punches, tremendous punches.
In terms of the future, Frank, I know everybody, the whole world wants to see an undisputed champion. Are we any closer to it now with this victory from
Well,
Tyson?
I hope so. I think he is without doubt the #1 heavyweight in the world. Usyk's a very good fighter. There's no doubt about that. I think Tyson would be too big, too strong. It'd be exactly like that. And he's not big as puncher as Deontay, so I think Tyson would just be too much for him. And I've got utmost respect for Usyk, by the way, and his trainer Lomachenko's father, who I think would try and come up with a really good game plan for it. But having said that, I think Tyson's a standout heavyweight of his era, and I think he would be up there with any of those greats, all those greats that I grew up watching, and my dad grew up watching, and probably my granddad. All those going all back then. He's one of them. He's in that exclusive club. He's one of them.
Time frame wise, do you think we see it next year? I know the rematch has to happen with
next year. Oh, what you mean? Usyk?
Undisputed fight, yeah. And
it'd be next.
Usyk for the winner.
It would be next, probably. If it did, it'd be next autumn. Because I don't think they're going to fight until March or whenever it is.
If he does become undisputed, you having promoted so many fighters and seeing British boxing history, where does he start putting himself in conversation as not only greatest British fighter ever, but also top heavyweight, one of the top heavyweights ever?
I think he's one of the top heavyweights of all time. Absolutely. You've got to think, you look at the guys, the size of the guys, and what they were, and you look at the size of him, he's like 6 foot, what's he, 6'7"? 6'7" tall, the reach on him, the chin he's got, good boxer. He'd be a handful for all. They would be. Who would you fancy out of him and Joe Frazier? Who would you fancy out of him and George Foreman going into later rounds? You look at, they're all, hypothetical situations, but you can say that about Tyson fighting those guys. That's how good he is.
And on a different topic, this will be the last thing. Are we any closer now to Tommy and Jake? Has there been any headway at all?
Because we've been busy this week with that, but I hope there'll be announcements soon, and I'm fingers crossed. Everyone's trying hard to make it work, and hopefully we will do.
Do you think the fight lands over there in the UK, here in the US?
I would like it in the UK, but it'll probably be in the US.
Back in Cleveland, or
That I don't know. As I say, we've still got to wait. Not wait. I mean, everybody says a will to make it happen, and we will do.